There are serious health concerns for the legendary country singer Dolly Parton.
This morning, fans are rallying around Dolly Parton.
It all started with a tearful plea from Frida Parton, who begged fans to pray for her sister, Dolly. Her words, "up all night praying," sent shockwaves across the world. Soon, whispers of illness and concern began to grow, leaving fans anxious and fearful.
New Instagram video posted this afternoon. It comes after her sister asked people on social media to pray for Dolly's recovery.
Something was clearly wrong, but no one knew how serious it was. At 79, Dolly Parton is saying goodbye. After a tragic diagnosis, a sister's plea for prayer. On October 7, 2025, the world of country music was shocked when Dolly Parton's sister, Frida Parton, asked fans around the world to pray for her famous sister. The news first broke through a heartfelt Facebook post that instantly caught the attention of millions. Frida wrote, "Last night, I was up all night praying for my sister, Dolly. Many of you know she hasn't been feeling her best lately. I truly believe in the power of prayer, and I have been led to ask all of the world that loves her to be prayer warriors and pray with me." She continued by assuring fans that Dolly is strong and loved, saying, "With all the prayers being lifted for her, I know in my heart she's going to be just fine. Godspeed, my sissy Dolly. We all love you." Her words carried deep emotion, showing how much love and faith she holds for her sister. The post spread quickly across social media, and within hours, fans were sharing their own prayers and well wishes for Dolly's recovery. Frida's plea touched people around the world. Her words, "up all night praying," painted a picture of deep worry and love. It reminded everyone that behind the glitter and fame, Dolly is still a sister, a daughter, and a loved one. The two sisters have always shared a close bond. Growing up in a large family in Tennessee, they supported one another through tough times and celebrated each other's successes. That bond made Frida's message even more emotional for longtime fans. The response from the public was immediate. Fans filled comment sections with messages like, "Praying for Dolly," and "We love you, Queen." Media outlets picked up the story, turning Frida's prayer request into national news. The concern grew so strong that Frida later felt the need to clarify her words. "I want to clear something up," she wrote in a follow-up post on October 8, 2025. "I didn't mean to scare anyone or make it sound so serious when asking for prayers for Dolly." She explained that Dolly had only been a little under the weather, and that it was nothing more than a little sister asking for prayers for her big sister. Frida's plea awakened a storm of speculation, because Dolly also made a startling announcement. The decision that surprised to all Dolly's fans: when the stage went dark. Frida Parton's emotional plea for prayers had already worried fans, but things became even more serious when Dolly herself made a surprising announcement. The country music legend revealed that her highly anticipated Las Vegas residency, which was set to begin in December 2025 at Caesars Palace, would be postponed. This news sent shockwaves through the entertainment world because Dolly rarely cancels shows. Her work ethic and dedication to her fans are legendary, and many people immediately began to wonder what was truly going on behind the scenes. In her heartfelt message, Dolly explained the situation in her own words. "As many of you know, I've been dealing with some health challenges, and my doctors tell me that I must have a few procedures. As I joked with them, it must be time for my 100,000 checkup, although it's not the usual trip to see my plastic surgeon," Dolly wrote with her familiar sense of humor. She continued, "In all seriousness, given this, I am not going to be able to rehearse and put together the show that I want you to see and the show that you deserve to see. You see good money to see me perform, and I want to be at my best for you." The announcement was met with an outpouring of support and concern. Fans flooded social media with messages wishing her a quick recovery, while others expressed sadness over the postponed shows. The Las Vegas residency was expected to be one of the biggest events of the year. It would have marked Dolly's first extended performance run in the city in more than 30 years. Many ticket holders were heartbroken, but understood her decision, saying that her health should always come first. According to reports, the residency has now been rescheduled for September 2026. The delay was disappointing, but it also made people realize that Dolly's health situation might be more serious than she was letting on. Media outlets noted that her wording was both reassuring and worrying at the same time. While she kept her signature humor, her words hinted at something deeper that she was not yet ready to share publicly. The singer ended her note with a message filled with faith and strength. "And don't worry about me quitting the business, because God hasn't said anything about stopping yet. But I believe He is telling me to slow down right now so I can be ready for more big adventures with all of you." Those words brought comfort to many fans, but also left them wondering what kind of health challenges required multiple procedures and such a long break. This difficult announcement came at the end of a heartbreaking year for Dolly. Just months earlier, she had revealed that her husband of 58 years, Carl Dean, had passed away at the age of 82. Losing her lifelong partner while facing health struggles of her own made this time especially painful for her. But what exactly is she battling? As whispers of health struggles intensify, let's unpack what it means for a 79-year-old Dolly. Dolly, diagnosis. At 79, and health battles. At 79, Dolly Parton continues to shine with her familiar warmth and grace, but even the strongest stars face the weight of time. Age brings wisdom, but it also brings challenges that no one can escape. For decades, Dolly has poured her energy into music, movies, and philanthropy, but her recent health battles have reminded both her and her fans that even icons need rest. The years of constant performing, travel, and stress may now be taking a toll on her body. Recently, Dolly revealed that she has been dealing with a kidney stone infection. She shared the news during a video announcement at Dollywood on September 17th, where she admitted that the infection was causing her a whole lot of problems. She added that she decided to follow her doctor's advice and avoid traveling. Her words were honest, but carefully chosen. She did not offer many details, but her tone made it clear that she was in discomfort and trying to manage it with patience and faith. This is not the first time Dolly has faced this issue. About 10 years ago, she missed another Dollywood event because of kidney stones, but bounced back to tour the following year. Her ability to recover back then gave fans hope that she would do the same again. However, time changes everything. At her age, even a small infection or medical procedure can require longer recovery and closer care. Medical experts have noted that kidney stones can be especially painful and, in severe cases, may need surgical removal. If Dolly were to undergo such a procedure, recovery could take a long time, especially if it required open surgery. At 79, the body heals more slowly, and the risks of complications increase. Fatigue, reduced stamina, and slower recovery are all part of what aging brings, even to someone as strong as Dolly Parton. Her current struggles echo shadows from the past, scars she has carried for decades. Stay with us as we trace the history of Dolly's health battles, long before this crisis. A history of health battles. From her early years on stage, to her most recent performances, Dolly's journey has been marked by quiet battles that she rarely allowed the public to see. In the past, Dolly has spoken about periods when her health forced her to slow down. In the late 1980s, she suffered from severe exhaustion and what she described as a female health issue, which reportedly led to internal bleeding and required surgery. It was a frightening time for her, one that made her step back and reevaluate how much she was pushing herself. Despite her private pain, she returned stronger, refusing to let illness define her or take away her passion for performing. As the years went by, the constant strain of touring began to take a toll on her body. During her Backwoods Barbie tour, Dolly faced intense back pain that limited her movement and made long performances difficult. Decades of singing, dancing, and traveling had added up. And even someone as energetic as Dolly began to feel the effects. She later admitted that performing night after night could be exhausting, but insisted that the joy of connecting with her fans always kept her going. The physical toll of her career has also been clear in her voice. Although her powerful vocals remain recognizable, Dolly herself has mentioned moments when fatigue or stress affected her singing. Years of rehearsing, traveling across time zones, and performing under pressure inevitably left their mark. Yet she never allowed the public to see weakness. When pain or tiredness struck, she met it with grace, humor, and determination. Dolly's approach to health challenges has always been deeply private. She has often chosen silence over sympathy, revealing only what she felt was necessary. When rumors spread about her well-being, she would simply reassure fans that she was fine or resting. This quiet dignity became part of her strength. She wanted people to focus on her music and message, not her pain. Despite the setbacks, Dolly continually reinvented herself after every period of recovery. Each return brought a new project, a new sound, or a fresh creative direction. Whether it was launching Dollywood, starring in films, or recording new albums, she found ways to channel her challenges into purpose. Her resilience became part of her legend. Now, as she faces another health battle at 79, fans can't help but wonder if her body is finally signaling that it has endured enough. She has given so much of herself to her art and her audience that it's hard to imagine her stepping away. Yet, every human body, even one filled with Dolly's unmatched spirit, eventually needs rest. Health is only one thread in her tapestry, but her life has also been a battlefield of ambition, sacrifice, and unrelenting drive. Let's now chart the rise and the obstacles of her career. The rise of a legend. Dolly Parton's story begins in the Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee, where she was born into a large, humble family that struggled to make ends meet. Her early life was filled with poverty, but also with love, faith, and music. From a young age, Dolly showed a natural gift for songwriting. She wrote her first songs as a child, using anything she could find as an instrument. Her family quickly realized that her voice was something special. When she performed on local radio shows and small stages, people noticed her charm, confidence, and unmistakable sound. After finishing high school, Dolly moved to Nashville with big dreams and little money. The journey was not easy. The music industry was tough, especially for a young woman from the countryside. Yet, Dolly refused to give up. She began writing songs for other artists and soon caught the attention of Porter Wagoner, a well-known country singer. Her partnership with him on the Porter Wagoner Show gave her national exposure and marked the beginning of her rise to fame. Then came the songs that would change her life forever. Jolene and I Will Always Love You became instant classics, showcasing her emotional depth and songwriting brilliance. The success of these hits helped her cross over from traditional country into mainstream pop audiences. Her ability to blend genres while staying true to her roots made her one of the most versatile artists of her generation. However, Dolly's path to stardom was not without its battles. She faced sexism in the music industry, with critics dismissing her for her looks or labeling her too country or too pop. Some doubted her talent because of her glamorous image. But Dolly never let anyone define her. She worked harder, wrote better songs, and built a reputation for being both a creative genius and a savvy businesswoman. Financial struggles and rejection were constant in her early career. There were moments when success seemed far away, but she turned every setback into motivation. When critics underestimated her, she simply smiled and kept going. Her resilience became her weapon. Over time, Dolly reinvented herself in countless ways. She stepped into acting, starring in hit films like 9 to 5 and Steel Magnolias. She opened Dollywood, her beloved theme park, which became a symbol of her generosity and entrepreneurial spirit. She proved that she was more than a singer. She was a brand, a storyteller, and a force of nature. But success came with a heavy price. The constant work, long tours, and pressure to stay at the top left little room for rest. Dolly experienced burnout and health struggles, but always kept her pain private. She once said that the hardest part of fame is losing your privacy. While she gave her audience everything, she often had to sacrifice her own peace. Behind the curtain of fame lies a personal life that has known both joy and heartbreak, family, loss, and private pain. Dolly Parton met Carl Dean in 1960-64, outside a laundromat in Nashville on her very first day in the city. She was just 18, full of dreams and determination to make it in country music. Carl was 21, running his own asphalt paving business. According to Dolly, he spotted her walking down the street and jokingly said, "You're going to get sunburned in that outfit." That one playful line led to a lifetime of love. Unlike most love stories in show business, theirs was built far away from flashing cameras. They married 2 years later, in May 1966, in a quiet ceremony in Ringgold, Georgia, just the two of them, Dolly's mother and a preacher. Dolly later admitted that she wanted to avoid the press because her record label warned her marriage might hurt her career. But Carl didn't care about fame. He loved Dolly for who she was before the rhinestones and wigs, and he never wanted the spotlight. Throughout her decades of fame, Carl stayed completely private, rarely photographed, and never joining her on red carpets. Dolly often joked, "He's my biggest fan, but he likes me best when I'm home in my old country clothes." Their marriage endured every challenge, the tours, long separations, gossip, and public scrutiny, because it was rooted in trust and simplicity. They renewed their vows in 2016, celebrating 50 years of marriage with a small ceremony at home. But in March 2025, tragedy struck. Carl Dean passed away at the age of 82, after nearly 60 years of marriage. For Dolly, it wasn't just the loss of a husband. It was losing her lifelong companion, the person who'd been with her before fame, and who quietly supported her through every success and heartbreak. Friends described her as heartbroken but at peace, saying that she's been leaning deeply on her faith and the memories they shared. This wasn't the first loss Dolly has endured. She said goodbye to several siblings over the years, including her brother Randy Parton, who died in 2021. Randy was especially close to her. They often performed together, and his death left a deep void in her heart. Dolly has also spoken openly about the passing of other family members. each loss reminding her of life's fragility and the fleeting nature of time. Faith has always been her shield. Through grief, she turns to prayer and music, writing, and reminding fans that love and hope endure even through sorrow. Still, the weight of widowhood at her age, combined with health struggles, has made this one of the most difficult chapters of her life. Grief, after all, doesn't just break the heart, it wears down the body too. But life in the spotlight also breeds controversy, myth, and debate. If she is indeed saying goodbye, how will history remember Dolly? Controversies, missteps, myths, and legacy. Even icons face controversy, and Dolly Parton has never been immune. One of the biggest headlines came in 2022 when she asked to be removed from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nomination list. She said she didn't feel she had earned that right and didn't want to take a spot from someone more deserving. Through the decades, Dolly has faced endless scrutiny over her appearance, from her wigs to her plastic surgeries. Critics questioned her authenticity, but Dolly always met them with grace and humor, famously saying, "It costs a lot of money to look this cheap." She turned what others mocked into a personal brand of empowerment, showing women that they could look, speak, and live however they chose. She's also stayed mostly neutral in politics, which has sometimes divided fans but kept her above partisan fights.